Without wasting further time, Barrister, let's start off from Abia State, where the governor have come up to explain that the office, the Renewed Hope Agenda office that was situated somewhere in Umahia that was sealed by members of the task force of the state. You know, it's not a political move, or it does not have any political agenda to it. But the reason for the sealing of that office is the fact that there was a default in payment, and hence the task force had to carry out the sealing as a routine enforcement. But at what point are we going to see elected officials, maybe governors or president and all that, not coming up to explain one thing or another to Nigeria, especially regarding issues that has to do with defaulters or offenders and them being penalized or sanctioned by the state?
There should be no issue on this matter, because it is the order of the court. Okay. Yes, when you default in your rent or whatever, what happens? You go to court. And when the court are giving a judgment, is there any... It's just that it has to do with the party campaign office. If not, they do this into private citizens now. They do it. When court issue order for takeover or whatever, you don't hear it in the press, because those people are not prominent people. Is that not true? So this idea of sealing up party offices and all that, it's not new. We have been doing it in Abuja.
I was going to ask you that.
So there's no, as long as it follows due process, there's no issue about it. If you are owing, you are owing.
Now, why is it that the Deputy Speaker of the House, Benjamin Kalu, who also come from Abia State, you know, and also a member of the APC, why is it that they couldn't look inwardly to pay or clear their debts, you know, before the office was sealed? And why are we seeing this turn out to be a political issue at this point? Some people are saying it's political visions, and how verbose Benjamin Kalu have been about dethroning the people or the governor of the state and making sure that the next election will have APC there. He made mention of that. He said, as the number 6 person in Nigeria, that next election, that Abia State will be governed by the party that he belongs to.
They are wasting their time. You remember that in the last election that brought Alex Otti into office, they did everything, but the resident electoral commissioner, that's Professor Nena Ochabi, the lady resisted. So this time around, and Abia people who resist anybody who want to take Abia from Alex Otti, Abia people, they will have to contend with them, because they have approved, they are in support, they are validating, they are giving kudos to Alex Otti. So where are you coming from and where are you going? It will be difficult to, that one is just talking to himself. Himself and Oji Kalu. It's not about making noise. When you people had the opportunity, what did you do? What did you do? Especially Oji Kalu. Is it not a shame that he was there for 8 years? This thing that Alex Otti is doing today in Abia State, if they were all there when Oji Kalu was in Abia as governor, yet he couldn't do any of them, and he's now talking. Do you think that the average Abia man is a fool? No, he's not a fool. He's not a fool.
All right, then. Let's take this conversation to Mr. Oladare, who is with us virtually. Let's also establish communication again. Mr. Oladare, are you still there?
Yes, I'm with you.
All right, fantastic. What's your take about the fact that the governor of Abia State has come out to explain the reason for the sealing of that particular building? And plus the fact that opposition clearly is crying foul. So the fact that the governor carried out what is a court order.
You see, ordinarily, there shouldn't be any issue with this happening, because just like the barrister said, it's a court order. And but the problem now is that coming from the opposition party, especially the party that is in power in the national, the APC, crying foul, only points to one thing. They know that this is how they use the instrumentality of power to torment anybody that is deemed as their opposition. This is what they've been doing. This is what Wike is doing in Abuja. This is what they are doing with other political parties. So they understand it. So they believe that Otti is doing the same to them because it is their stock in trade, right? So, but ordinarily, it shouldn't cause any foul or any ranting from anybody at all. If it is a court order, as the governor has explained. But this is Nigeria political space. Anything goes. So you can't trust all of these guys. They are all the same, man.
All right, now let me still stay with you. And of course, I'm going to stay on the situation in Lagos, where the Lagos State Governor presented a 4.23 trillion naira proposal for 2026 fiscal year to the Assembly. First off, that again has come at the back heel of the fact that a lot of persons have asked questions about that particular figure. How and when did the Lagos State government start getting to trillions of naira when it comes to proposal of the fiscal year? But what's your position with the fact that the governor clearly said that this budget is going to be a budget of shared prosperity, basically, as it were?
When it comes to budgeting in Nigeria, I mean, a clear example of why you shouldn't rely on the title they give their budget is the former governor of Cross River, Ayade, that is always using all these bogus English to describe their budgeting. But that aside, Lagos State today should even be doing times 10 of what they are doing in terms of their budgeting. I mean, look at the budget of a state in New York. They are doing $100 billion. That's even times 2 what Nigeria is doing. A state is doing that in America. So really, it's not really about whether they are doing too much. They are not even doing enough, right? And I believe that Lagos have that capacity to generate as much in terms of internally generated revenue. They could generate more than this. But then what we've been lacking is the readiness and the political will to do what they are supposed to do, right? Because should be doing times 2 of this budget. So I don't know why people will now be, but it's also understandable if people are being skeptical that these figures are too much because they don't really trust their leaders, right? But if it's a situation where the people trust their leaders, this is even this budget is not even what Lagos should be doing in 2025. Lagos is too big for this.
Well, I would say that some quarters would beg to differ when it comes to figures, because again, you did mention earlier that there is that part of trust deficit between the leader and the people, and thus the reason why the questions arising from these particular figure. But let me bring it back to the studio here. Barrister, 4.23 trillion naira expenditure proposed by the Lagos State government, and clearly as it stands, 2.05 trillion naira for recurrent items. Maybe you need to help Nigerians understand what that clearly might mean. Plus, the fact that for capital expenditure earmarked in that budget, it's about 2.18 trillion naira. Barrister.
That means both the recurrent and capital, they are almost at par, because the recurrent is 2 points, capital is 2 points. They are almost equal. And you ask yourself, what is the workforce of Lagos State? Do you know? We don't know. Most of that money are going into private pockets under frivolous expenses like severance package for ex-governors. You remember, Lagos is still paying. Are you aware? They are still paying ex-governors one kind of severance package of, I think except to Raji Razaki, Fashola that rejected it, they refused to give anybody for whatever reason. I know he doesn't want it. Apart from that, every other governor that has passed as a civilian, they are collecting that money. Is that part of what is in the budget? Then other frivolous expenses are in that budget. Some principalities and powers, their money is in that budget. I mean, principalities and powers in Lagos State, their money is in that budget.
Now, Barrister, when some people ask about the internal generated revenue Lagos actually have, they projected when they made the what's it called, the proposal for the 2025 budget, they had a projected IGR to be at 2.23 trillion naira. But they were able to, as of this, from January to September this year, they've been able to rake in 1.34 trillion naira. Isn't that a good one for, a place as big and bold as Lagos? And also, from what we heard from the governor himself, he went further to talk about how they are going to utilize this money for them to be able to generate more. Remember, they just had they held the E1 pricks, boat cruise, first ever, and we saw foreign people actually coming, and that's more like a FBI also in
the
Lagos.
Money of Lagos is not being used for Lagos. If they should implement the budgetary allocation of Lagos, Fina and David quote me, there will be no street in Lagos that will not be tarred. No street that will not be tarred. But go to the outskirts and hinterland of Lagos and see Lagosians living in squalor. That when you see the environment, when you see where you ask yourself, are these people part of the Lagos you are talking about? They only concentrate in Alausa, Ikeja, then Central Business District in Marina, and Broad Street. Apart from those areas and a few places, go and show me that road that is tied in Lagos State.
But then again, Barrister, shouldn't that be the question that the Lagosians themselves should be asking their local government chairman?
There are some roads that is for the state. Let them do their own. Then the Lagos State, the local government, you ask yourself, are they getting their allocation? Tell me, are they getting their allocation? It was one of the states that kicked against financial autonomy for local government was Lagos State. David, Lagos State, they kicked against it. So what are you saying? The local government and the local authority, they don't have any funds. They call them and give them a salary, monthly salary, and that's all. No money to do anything. All the money is collected by the states. So do you want the local government chairman to bring out water from stone? Is it possible? Is it not when you give me money to do something? At the end of the day, you ask me to account for that money, what I did with it. Then you go and do what? You verify, investigate. So, I mean, if
the federal government doesn't keep to the Fiscal Responsibility Act, are we going to blame the state for not doing it? Because, we saw that it's like the state governors are also emulating or imitating the works of the government at the central.
I said Lagos State should show example based on the funds available to it.
But if you check this budget, Barrister, last year's budget or 2025 budget was just 3.367 trillion. And this one was just having a little addition to it. Yes, it wasn't even up to...
Yes, it must increase because the stakes are high. The stakes are high here. It must increase. But the increment, where is it going? Will it reflect in the life of Lagosians? Will it reflect in infrastructure development? I said, go to the hinterlands and see the roads.
All right.
That's where to start from.
All right, then. Well, Barrister, let's take this conversation to Mr. Oladari. Again, there have been concerns about the insecurity in Nigeria. Concerns, again, being raised by the UN, clearly urging the federal government to fight insecurity and, of course, look for a way to get all of the kidnapped victims returning back to their families. The UN clearly has said theirs. Atiku Abubakar also has lent his voice. I mean, several other stakeholders have lent their voices. What's your position about the fact that Nigeria has been bedeviled by insecurity to the point where we now have bandits giving ultimatums and threats to principal officers like the president? We would like you to unmute your mic, Mr. Olada.
I don't know if
Go ahead, we can hear you. Go
sorry.
ahead.
Okay, sorry. I can you just repeat the question, please? I think I lost you at that moment.
Okay, I was talking about the insecurity that had bedeviled Nigeria up to this point. The UN clearly has said to the federal government to do everything within their powers to take urgent actions to stop the attacks and, of course, bring perpetrators to justice. Even Atiku Abubakar also has lent his voice as concerning insecurity as well. What's your position about the fact that insecurity has bedeviled Nigeria up to this point, that these bandits are given ultimatum to principal officers, even like the president himself?
Yeah, you see, it's quite interesting and funny at the same time, because yesterday, I think it was Bayo Ononuga that was saying that it was the intervention of the DSS and the police that released some kidnapped victims. And, you begin to ask questions like, until when are we going to stop all these negotiations with bandits and terrorists? Because of frivolous reasons. These are the same people that were criticizing the former administrations for doing the same thing. Now they are in power, they are also doing the same thing, right? So it's, a general reason that we've always complained about, which is the general mentality of our elites. Whether they are in PDP, APC, whoever is in power, it doesn't change. They have the same mentality and they have the same ambition, they have the same interest. So this is clearly against their interest to stop, to secure the lives of Nigerians, because they hope profits from this. We've seen a lot of them who fell out with them that will come out to the
when you
press.
say they all profits from it, please, Mr. Olodore, can you explain or expatiate more?
Yes.
Who are the people that it benefits?
Exactly, exactly. That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Exactly, that's what I'm doing. We have former generals who have come out to say this. Even the this Edo senator Oshiomhole has come out to say the same thing, that generals in the army are profiting from insecurity in Nigeria. Top government officials are profiting from insecurity in Nigeria. But this is the fact, this is the reality, because if not, they will tell you that they have all the intelligence to wipe out these people. Then why are you not doing it? So the facts are in our faces. It's now left to us, the citizens, to organize ourselves.
All right, then.
Take action.
Let's bring this conversation to the studio. Barrister, just a couple of weeks ago, the president of the U.S., I'm talking about Donald Trump, redesignated Nigeria as a country of particular concern, and we had several backlashes from both government officials and, of course, Muslim groups and all, because in the words of Donald Trump, he did say, if the house is not put, I'm trying to paraphrase now, if it's not put in order, there will be some invasion in Nigeria. Donald Trump's statements passed just a few days after. The UN is coming out to say almost the same thing about insecurity. Is there the possibility that the Nigerian government is listening to any of these voices at all?
They are not. They are not listening. If not, we would have seen action from the government here. They are not. In fact, they are not even thinking about it. They just want to buy time. And that was why they sent some people to the US to go for the usual jamboree. What the congressman told them is very, very noteworthy. He said instead of the president to do something concerning the issues raised, he was busy sending emissaries here and there. That means, they understand this government and how they operate.
Barrister, when you say they are not doing anything, we learned that the Eruku church worshippers have regained their freedom. And also the KB schoolgirls also have regained their freedom. And if you break it down too, we learned that, you know, the army also helped in rescuing some victims who were kidnapped and helping repelling bandits in Kogi State. Isn't that more like a good work at this point?
Fina, listen very well. You, why didn't you tell me that as they were returning the one they kidnapped, another set of kidnappers are kidnapping people? Why didn't you tell me that? No, what progress have you made? If they kidnap 2 people and then return the 2 people, then tomorrow, the following day, they now kidnap another 4 people.
No, but we're looking at the statement made by the presidency when they say that that they had to go in with full force, you know, with NAF and even the security, the military, for them to be able to round these people up. And recall also that they denied paying any ransom, saying they went in full force and they were able to retrieve the victims and reunite them with their family members.
As I talk to you now, can you beat your chest and say that no Nigerian, either women or men, either children, boys or girls, no Nigeria is in kidnapper den as at now? Can you say that? No, can you beat your chest and say, yes, the president have done so much? In fact, nobody is a kidnapper.
But so that's some level of high intelligence that, of course, the presidency is still working on. So making sure that the others are released, don't you think so?
Leave that thing. Since oh God Almighty. Look, kidnappers and terrorists have been with you for 15 years now, since 2009. And you are now celebrating a few girls that returned yesterday. How about all the ones that they have been, the cheaper girls and the darkest girls that have become mothers in the hands of kidnappers? Okay, those ones, they are not Nigerians, Abi. Leah Sharibu, only God knows how many children she must have given birth to. We are talking of a serious issue whereby you will say nobody should be in kidnappers den. And you follow it up.
What do you think is keeping the president or Nigerian government from making such statements? Because even intentional world are beginning to marvel at it. The AU today is talking about it, the incessant kidnapping, the abduction. I think even the Ekiti local government area where the church worshippers were kidnapped, another set of people, mothers, nursing mothers and pregnant women also were kidnapped. 7 persons from the same household. In Kano State, again, we learned about the kidnap of 10 people from the state. And, you know, we keep on counting. The likes of Abia State Government told Nigerians that just within some months, 22 attacks have happened and over 800 were kidnapped. So why are we not making the statements? Why are we not ending insecurity?
I don't think there is anybody, any journalist that can keep account of how many times Nigerians have been kidnapped. It's not possible. There are ones you can't even hear about. Is that not true? It's so many. We are talking of in thousands. As we are sitting here now, something is happening somewhere. Maybe by the time you hear it, maybe 2 days. By the time you hear about it, 2 days from now, it has become, it's like somebody going to work. Kidnapping has become what? A business. When they feel like eating in the morning, the oga will say, there's no money here. Oh yeah, go and get some. They will just roll and get some people and make noise about it.
Before we let you go,
so what are you telling me?
In this conversation, what do you make of the political will of the presidency as it stands as concerning kidnapping, banditry? Just a couple of days ago, the Ministry of Livestock and of this did say that there is an open grazing law. Hours later, the statement has been retracted. That there is no more. That was just a statement that was taken out of proportion.
So what do you want me to say here?
How much of political will does the leadership of the presidency need to put to end kidnapping?
If you and I have an agreement, listen very well. If you and I have an agreement, and that agreement is binding, would you want to violate it? Knowing fully well that when you violate it, there will be consequences. You wouldn't want to. I have told you, I have a strong belief that the federal government of Nigeria have an agreement with these terrorists. That's why they cannot deal with them. I mean, frontally.
Well, that's unfounded, Barrister.
Oh, really? You tell me, why would they be occupying Benue and Plateau villages? And you are there as the government. Oh, tell me, why will they be occupying, taking over, renaming the villages, taking over their homes, and you, the government, who swore to protect life and property, you are not doing anything? Is it not because, we agreed on something, so when I was coming to office, anyway, don't mind, don't leave them.
Barrister,
Actions speak louder than words.
We really have to go now.